Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of My Name is Dad. And let's quickly just go over the sponsor real quick, which is myself, Point B Grading and Turfgrass Maintenance, LLC. I'm a landscape contractor in the Phoenix area. If you're looking to have some laser grading done for your sports field, for your residential place, for your commercial business, whatever it is, check us out at pointbgrading.com. Send me an email at pointbgrading@gmail.com. Let's see if we can figure something out, if I can solve your problem or your issue, whatever it is. Give me a call, give me a chance, and we'll check it out. All right. Now let's move on to this episode. This is a regular episode of My Name is Dad. This is not a Who I Am. Obviously, the big news is Mr. Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Utah Valley University. And it's not good. That's for damn sure. I'll tell you that right now. So, if you don't know Charlie Kirk, he is a right-wing political analysis guy or whatever influencer, probably just more of an influencer. And his big thing is that he goes to college campuses, and he sets up a tent, and he sits there and he lets people ask him questions, and he debates people. It's actually kind of like a brilliant little idea. A bunch of these, a lot of his videos are these left-wing students or teachers, and they come up and they try to outsmart him, and he always just kind of sticks to his guns, or he kind of talks circles around them, or proves their point wrong, whatever it is. I wouldn't say that he was always right, or that I always believed in what he was saying, but that was his stick. That's what he did, and actually it was very, very influential to kids and college students. And again, it's like kind of how it's supposed to be, right? That we, you debate people, we talk about things, and then you make your own opinion and stuff like that. And it's not that your opinion's always set. My opinion, my political leanings and beliefs have changed over time. Especially when you're younger. Younger people are more likely to be democratic, leaning to the left. And then as you get older, you become more center and right wing. And I think that's just because that, once you kind of have your beliefs and then the left sort of keeps progressing and they keep getting, more and more left, or they just keep progressing, whatever it is, your beliefs are kind of your beliefs. And then as it gets older, you find yourself in the center or on the right now, but you're like, well, I was on the left when I was younger, but I still have the same beliefs, but now I'm a Republican. Like, I don't get it. So, again, that's just, I'm kind of, getting off there a little bit, but I think for me with, Charlie Kirk, I actually wasn't like the biggest fan of Charlie Kirk. I did appreciate what he did. I did enjoy his videos. I didn't always necessarily agree with everything that he said, or and just I guess I'm definitely center right. I don't think of myself as a hardcore right winger by any means. I like to think of myself more of as like a libertarian type of Republican, I guess, but I definitely ain't on the left. I mean, the left. I actually kind of really hate both sides. Extreme. I definitely don't like people on the left, and I definitely don't like people on the far right. I think of myself more as a moderate sort of centrist kind of person. But again, I wasn't the biggest fan of Charlie Kirk, at least on all his opinions and his beliefs and all this stuff. But I did appreciate his videos. I thought his videos were good. They were entertaining. It does kind of show, how some of these college students think, and how he is a, conservative, religious type of person. That, it's just like he had his own belief system and his point of views, and he was a good debater. And that was the thing. And that was the thing I guess I didn't really like was, these people are trained, he was a trained debater. And I do listen to some podcasts and stuff where you see these people keep coming up in different podcasts, and they're like, they're trained debaters, or they say that they're an expert in debating, but so a lot of times they just talk circles around people. They don't really have any points. And sometimes, Charlie did come off, kind of kind of smug or, arrogant or whatever. And sometimes, he had short answers, or he had some answers that I thought, well, you're not really answering this person's question. You're just kind of, doing some talking points or whatever. But that doesn't necessarily mean that what his style or his beliefs were wrong or anything. I just didn't necessarily always believe in it. I wasn't always 100% on board with his answers and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing that I did really like about Charlie when I would watch his videos and stuff was that he did try to use a lot of statistics, which I do appreciate. I mean, statistics are kind of true in a way. You can always kind of manipulate statistics to say what you want them to say. That's like one of the first things you learn when you have, statistic class in college, that you can kind of manipulate that stuff. And he did know his Bible. He would always quote, verses of the Bible and make it, again, that's all for interpretation and all that stuff, that you can make it sound, or you can make these verses, sound the way you want them to sound to prove your point and all this stuff, So again, I do appreciate that he had the knowledge. He was definitely trained, learned, educated, all these things, that he knew what he was doing. And he, at least for the most part, I like to believe that he really believed that what he was doing, that it wasn't just for entertainment purposes, that he was, like, have you ever watched the show Righteous Gemstones, where they're like these religious, priests or whatever, these evangelicals, but they don't really believe what they're doing or what they're saying. I like to believe that Charlie did really have these values, these morals, these things that he was debating on these people, and it just wasn't for show. It wasn't just for clicks or, thumbs up on the YouTube videos, or how many likes he got on TikTok, whatever it is. I kind of do truly believe that he really did kind of live this lifestyle and did kind of believe in what he was saying. Now, if you know me, I really don't like politicians. Okay. On the right or the left. I think politicians, from local government to school boards to the federal government, are all full of fucking shit. Okay. They don't care about you. They don't care about their citizens. They only care about their citizens when it helps them. But for the most part, they're running a business that doesn't really necessarily sell anything other than necessities like water and trash. So other than that, they are this business that has to exist, and they have, they have taken advantage of it. And these people, they do not care about you. I can't stress that enough, that politicians, government does not care about you. That is just my belief. Again, should I be shot for it? I hope not. But that's just my belief. I've worked in municipalities and the government. These people don't care. They only will use that. Oh, we're just trying to do what's best for our citizens when it helps them. But for the most part, they're just trying to gain political power and trying to get a leg up on whoever they want. They want a new racquetball court built, then they're gonna pull their strings and do whatever they can to get that racquetball court built because they want it in their district so they can get reelected. It doesn't matter, from the school board to federal government. They're always playing the game. All right. And they don't care about you. They only care about themselves. So again, when I see all these politicians coming out on the media and they're all saying their 90-second spiel about how they love Charlie and what a great person Charlie was, not that they're lying, but they definitely want to get their minute on TV to make sure everyone knows that they love Charlie and all this stuff. Part of the thing that I hate about politicians and the media, the mainstream media, is that I truly believe that they are trying to, it is in their best interest to divide the country. They do not want a united front. Okay. I think the media for sure, whether it's Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, right or the left, they both have the same goal, which is promote their team and punish and try to make the other team look bad. And that just only divides the country more. Same with these politicians. These politicians are probably all playing golf together. They're probably going to get a drink at the end of the day of work. And we're all supposed to believe that they hate each other and they're not friends. They're probably friends. They probably all are sitting back, drinking a cocktail, laughing at all of us normal people, right? So again, I don't like politicians. I don't like the mainstream media. That's why I have definitely gone to more of getting my news and information, but from podcasts. But you still have to be careful with who you're getting your information from, even on podcasts, because you don't know who's spending money on these podcasts or who's backing or sponsoring these podcasts. You still got to be careful. That's the thing. But I do think that's why people like Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet David, these people are getting kind of popular because they seem a little bit more center, or a little bit more willing to listen to the other side and not bash the other side. They're willing to have a conversation, and I think that resonates with a lot of people. So as I mentioned, these politicians and the media, they're to me, I think they care about ratings, they care about views, clicks, and all those things. And I think they sort of feed off of these people who are far right, far left, these people who are, very easily influenced by what they're saying. And I think that they are, over the years, they're a little bit responsible for feeding this thing, that if you're going to call Trump Hitler all the time, and Hitler's the worst person in the world, well, you're these people who can't see through that bullshit are going to take it to heart and stuff like that. And and same thing with Fox News and people on the right. You can't call these people extremist. Like it doesn't help anybody. And there's always going to be people on the far left and the far right. I guess for me, I'm just a little bit more like, I think people in the middle, people in the center, that maybe now, after this two assassination attempts, I guess, on President Trump, school shootings, church shootings, all these things, maybe some of the burden or some of the responsibility now is going to fall on us people, the silent majority, the people in the middle, the people in the center, who is probably the majority, 90% of the people, right? Maybe some of this falls on us to take our country back a little bit, to be the adult and be like, nah, we're not letting these far righters and these far lefters dictate what's going on in our country, because it's not helping. It's obviously not. Let's, maybe we shouldn't be silent anymore. The silent majority in the middle. I don't know. That's just kind of like my feeling coming out of this is, man, this is so terrible what happened to Charlie. And I can't believe it's coming to this. This, to me, it's very scary that this could get out of control very, very quickly. And I don't want it to. I don't want it to. I don't want to have to pick sides. I just want to have my beliefs, live my life, vote the way I want to vote, and what happens, happens. And I think majority of the people do want that. Now, saying that, I don't believe that whoever the shooter ends up being, I don't think this person represents the Democrats. He may represent the far extreme left people who are highly influenced by the rhetoric and stuff like that. But that's obviously, I want to shut that shit down on the far right and the far left. I don't like any of the rhetoric on both sides. I think most people are reasonable people who can at least willing to listen to the other side. And I think people have definitely the right to believe what they believe. I don't think, I was thinking, I don't think what Charlie, his videos and what he believed and all that, I don't think that was hate speech. I know, like, you watch some of the TikTok videos and stuff of people who were happy that he was shot. They're like, well, he had a lot of hate speech and blah, blah, blah. I don't think what he was saying was hate speech. I think you were influenced to believe that. You're brainwashed to believe that. I don't think that's true. I don't think his speech or what he was doing was hate speech, or he was trying to do that. I think it's okay to disagree with people. Now, that may make you upset. That may make you angry. But I don't think angry and hate are the same thing. Hate to me is like, it's almost like a little bit more like unconditional love. Like, I love somebody no matter what they do. Where if you hate somebody, you hate that person no matter what they do, like because of how they look or the color of their skin or whatever. That's like, I don't believe that, So what happened to Charlie Kirk is wrong, so many levels. And people who are happy about it, that is also very, very, very wrong on very many levels. He didn't deserve to die for what he was doing. He did not deserve to be assassinated on a college campus in front of people like that. That's not how we do things. That's not. And I hope that most Americans, most people accept that is wrong, that it's not okay. And neither are any other of the shootings that are okay. I don't want any innocent people to die that way. It's not okay. Now, I think, again, what has to go forward, I don't think there's a quick fix. I think there's a quick, let's not retaliate. Let's not peacefully protest in the streets. I don't want to say that the assassination of Charlie Kirk is a George Floyd incident. We saw how that went down. But I think it's definitely an eye-opening experience that, man, that was terrible. Man, I feel bad for his family. Man, I saw the video, like the unedited one, and man, I was like, I don't think I'll ever get that vision out of my head. It's like, it brought me back to watching like the Faces of Death videos when I was a teenager. Like, you still remember some of those. You remember the lady getting hit by the train, or the political guy who shot himself in the head. Like, that will always be there, And again, I was born in 1983. I wasn't around for JFK's assassination or Martin Luther King. Like, I don't even remember RFK's thing or Reagan's assassination attempt, I don't really remember that stuff. This is like really the first one that that really resonates with me, that this guy was 31 years old. I'm 42. So, I tell you what, it ain't good. That's for damn sure. I just hope that, I hope things get better. I think that's what Charlie would want, that things get better because of it, not get worse. And I hope that most people, again, the silent majority people can be like, yeah, this is going a little too far. So, all right. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode of My Name is Dad. Don't forget that we got the sports podcast going on every week. Me and Brody making picks, talking about the football season, and coming down to the last couple episodes of the Who I Am series, where I discuss my life and my marriage and my divorce and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for listening again. Thanks.